السلام عليكم. لا تنسوا الإعجاب بالفيديو والاشتراك في القناة تشجيعا لنا لنستمر بنشر المزيد إن شاء الله.
The C-5 Galaxy is one of the most critical air mobility assets of the United States Air Force. Giving them a great deal of flexibility in deploying forces and airmen. However, one of the critical aspects of the deployment is the overall maintenance of this cargo plane.
We're not actually lifting the aircraft. I have 3 jobs and 2 weeks to call in when you're ready.
Especially its tires. To ensure the tires hold their air pressure at a pressure that is able to support the enormous load of the plane, the airmen inspect the tire using sensor valves.
In general?
It's probably like 70, right?
70.
You already have set?
7.
Other way. Sorry.
And a thorough assessment of the wheel interface unit. In addition, the use of nitrogen gas has been inherent in the maintenance of the C-5 Galaxy in particular, and in the aerospace industry in general. Nitrogen gas in the hydraulics of a landing gear acts as a shock absorber and prevents diesel from spilling during landing. Also known to be clean and dry, the gas keeps aircraft free from corrosion by preventing moisture deposits. It contains an oil-filled cylinder that is slowly filtered out during compression. Additionally, a computer maintenance diagnostic system to detect faults in different parts of the plane is also an integral part of the maintenance routine. This device has the ability to record and analyze data from more than 7,000 test points, reducing maintenance and repair time. The C-5 Galaxy is one of the world's largest aircraft. And it is so big that it has the length of a 250-feet football field with a 220-feet wide wingspan, and is as tall as a 6-story building. It has been in operation since the 1970s and used in various military operations, including the Vietnam War. It is a huge military aircraft that can move nearly all types of combat equipment, including heavy tanks and helicopters. The enormous cargo size implies that it requires massive engineering procedures to load it, just like massive aircraft require giant bay doors. And usually the front of any plane is blocked by the cockpit. Hence, the solution provided in the C-5 Galaxy is a nose cone that can swing up with the help of powerful hydraulics to become a massive door. The nose of the plane, known as the visor, swings up some 65 degrees to clear the cargo bay and sit above the cockpit during loading. There is another aft door of colossal length that creates the actual drive-off cargo opening that allows the ground crew to simultaneously load and offload cargo from both ends, reducing cargo transfer times. The C5 has a state-of-the-art glass cockpit with multiple multifunction smart displays that give the pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineers the essential flight and navigational data. In addition, the cockpit also integrates a multi-mode communications system, a mission computer, a digital autopilot, multifunctional display units, safety equipment, and surveillance components.
30, 20, 10.
It also has built-in controls and diagnostic systems for determining when maintenance is necessary. Its integrated data link capabilities, situational awareness displays, and ability to give crew members predictable performance cues and better situational awareness have all proven to be impressive features of the cockpit. Since the C5 Galaxy is one of the fleets providing the United States Air Force with a heavy intercontinental range strategic airlift capability, there might be instances when the amount of fuel on board is not enough to complete the flight, and air refueling is needed. In this instance, there is usually an air refueling track that is reserved, and a tanker, such as the KC-135, is assigned to the mission. The air refueling tracks are mini airways that are set aside for military use for refueling missions. The receiver pilot will close the distance between the aircraft, move to the pre-contact position, and signal its readiness to the boom operator. The boom operator then extends the inner portion of the boom into the C5 receptacle. And this generates an electric signal that allows the latches to close on the end of the boom, holding it in position. At the end of the refueling, the pilots can disconnect the boom, or the sensors monitoring the boom position will send another electrical impulse to disconnect the boom. Another important fleet of the United States Air Force is the C-17, which can be seen as a smaller version of the C-5 Galaxy. It can be described as the most flexible cargo aircraft in the airlift force. And it is very effective for the rapid delivery of troops and equipment.
When it comes to strategic supplies, the C-17 is able to fit anything from this case of a CH-53K, also able to transport an Abrams tank, and then also in recent times with the invasion of Ukraine, we were able to transport members of the United States Army over, at a moment's notice, over to Europe as well to support our ally partners. Regardless of what the cargo is, the C-17, if it's able to fit, there's a way for us to be able to get it anywhere across the world.
It has a deficit of 73.2 feet in length, 53 feet in span length, and 10 feet in height when compared to the C-5 Galaxy. While the C-5 has more carrying capacity, the C-17 is quite advantageous because of its smaller size in that it can use smaller airfields and is commonly used as a tactical or strategic military transport aircraft. Realistically, all cargo aircraft have their uses and are specifically designed to meet some target demands. However, the mere length of a 98-feet fuselage of the United States Air Force C-130 makes it a versatile candidate for carrying heavy payloads of up to 42,000 pounds. The C-130 is capable of operating and landing on rough dirt strips in a process called austere landing, using its high flotation landing gear, which gives it the tactical advantage of accessing remote areas. The C-130 Hercules holds the record for the largest and heaviest aircraft to land on an aircraft carrier. And this astounding feat was achieved in October 1963. It is hard to imagine that the big four-engine C-130, with its bulky fuselage and 130 feet wingspan, could land on the deck of an aircraft carrier. The feat was accomplished in moderately rough seas 500 miles off the coast of Boston, with the crew negotiating 29 touch-and-go landings, 21 unarrested full-stop landings, and 21 unassisted takeoffs at gross weights of more than 85,000 pounds. This feat made the airplane become the largest and heaviest aircraft to ever land on an aircraft carrier. A record that is still intact up to this moment. Besides the array of massive cargo aircraft at the disposal of the United States Air Force, there are larger aircraft like the Lockheed U-2 Dragon Lady. Used for high altitude or even near space reconnaissance. It is a surveillance aircraft that provides signals, imagery, electronic measurements, and signature intelligence. Its long and narrow wings span 80 feet across, allowing it to cruise at nearly twice the altitude of a commercial jet. Being in the air for as long as a period as feasible would require, saving as much weight as possible. Even the landing gear is equipped with just 2 wheels, arranged like bicycle tires under the fuselage. However, this possesses a big problem when landing because there's nothing to keep the wings from hitting the ground. Taking off is relatively easy, but landing on the carrier proves challenging. After several modifications to the original designs of the U-2, attempts were made to land the aircraft on carriers in 1964. The risky attempt caused the plane to tip to one side of the wing during landing and continue bouncing on the carrier deck until it completely stopped. Whether this attempt was successful or not, the U-2 Dragon Lady has never attempted to land on an aircraft carrier again. Yet, it remains important for the United States Air Force to push boundaries